If you feel like you're constantly letting yourself down or not taking care of yourself properly, this video is for you. When you make big plans for yourself but then don't follow through with them, you let yourself down. And letting yourself down over and over and over again is a recipe for low self-esteem and low self-confidence. Expecting the most out of yourself and wanting to be the best version of yourself is amazing, but constantly writing unrealistic goals and not hitting them, in the back of your mind, it will eat at you until you are just ready to give up. There is a delicate balance to everything in life, and that includes your own expectations for yourself. Balance realistic expectations with pushing yourself farther than you've ever gone. Obviously, you don't want to make goals that you could accomplish too easily because then you'll never step outside your comfort zone. But at the same time, you don't want to make goals that you absolutely know that you physically won't be able to do. There's a center point. Get out of your comfort zone, but don't step so far into the territory of not taking care of yourself and overexhausting yourself trying to do the impossible. Of course, virtually anything is possible when you put your mind to it, but that's not something you can do just alone. I think any big thing worth doing always requires a big group of people to help you. So when I say something that you physically can't do, I mean the physical limitations of your own body. If you're making goals just for yourself, make sure that you alone are capable of doing it. Think about things that you have already accomplished. Think of your comfort zone, and then make a plan to push yourself just outside of it. If you want to take a huge leap outside of your comfort zone, that is completely fine. But for a lot of people who are struggling to get out of their comfort zone, baby steps. Take risks and take bold chances in life, but don't be reckless. It's all about the balance. Too much work is never good for anyone's health, and too much relaxation isn't good for anyone's health, as good as it may sound. With everything you want to accomplish, push yourself just a little bit further than you think you're capable of. Just a little bit more than that point you think you would give up on. Because just past that obstacle you're trying to get over is an amazing future. Trust me, every obstacle you're trying to get through is worth getting over. And most of the time, you will only be able to do that until after you've gotten out of your comfort zone. Now here's the difficult part. Most people aren't going to want to hear this, but once you've gotten out of your comfort zone and accomplished what you want to accomplish, do it again. If your comfort zone has expanded, you gotta get out of it again. Over and over and over again. And eventually you'll look back on what you thought was terrifying to achieve and then realize you do that all the time now. You actually got over that fear eventually because you made it a habit. And if you make a habit of constantly knocking out whatever it is you're afraid of, you will be unstoppable. The reason I say to make your goals realistic but difficult at the same time is because you physically want to be able to get that thing done and accomplished. But if there's no difficulty behind it, you're not refining any of your skills further. The difficulty comes in to prepare you for the future. Trust me when I say you want to get through the difficult times while you're still at this lower level. Stepping stones. If you have difficulty down here, you are going to have difficulty up here, and then more difficulty up here. The bigger the goals, the bigger difficulty you will have to face. So if you're going through a rough time right now, just try to get through it and know that this is here for a reason. The challenges you face today will help guide you tomorrow. If you don't hit your goal at the time that you wanted to, don't be too hard on yourself, because anything worth having and keeping takes a lot of time and it requires a lot of patience. When it comes to goals and plans for the future, persistence is the best attribute you can have, especially if you're not hitting your goal. Stay persistent with it. The ability to keep going even when you're not immediately reaping the benefits of what you're doing is a sign of a very hardworking person and a very patient person. Along the way, make sure to take care of yourself mentally and physically. If you're exhausted 24/7, you are not going to be able to work efficiently or with a clear mind. Make sure that you rest plenty and practice self-care. When you take care of your body physically, your mind mentally recognizes that someone is taking care of you, someone is loving you, especially when that's yourself. It may sound a little crazy, but if you think about it, you are the only person that stays with you through your entire life. You are the only person who is there for you 24/7. You need to take care of yourself. That's also part of the balance I was talking about. Obviously, you can't do self-care 24/7. You have to get up and work for what you want. But working 24/7 will not do anyone any good if you're constantly burnt out and stressed out and you could just fly off the handle at any time. Take care of your body, take care of your mind, and work hard. Like everyone always says, you cannot pour into someone else from an empty cup. Especially if you have employees you have recruited that look to you for everything, that always ask you advice, that look up to you. You need to be able to be a good leader. You can't be a good leader if you're not leading yourself in the right direction. If you're not leading yourself in the right direction, you are not going to lead other people in the right direction. Work on yourself first. Not letting yourself down means prioritizing your work, mental health, physical health, self-care, diet, spirituality, along with many other things. Even if you don't feel like doing the things that you have set up for yourself for that day, just force yourself to get out of bed and start doing them. I've been there before. You overanalyze it and overthink it to the point where it just seems like this big thing you have to do and it just seems impossible and I can't do it right now. But honestly, it's probably a lot worse in your head than it is in reality. So just get up and start doing it, and that will make it a lot easier to just keep doing it until it's done. Starting a task is like 70% of doing it, in my opinion, because I'm an overthinker and I just overthink it until it becomes this big thing in my head, and I've just learned to stop doing that. Trust me, this has happened to me 1,000 times over, and I know how it feels to not be able to get out of bed. But the only person who can force you to do it is yourself. It's a lot easier to start your day motivated to get your stuff done when you start your day with positivity. Here is a list of the things that I do personally. Podcasts, music, prayer, affirmations, meditation, YouTube videos, and positive frequencies. Obviously, when I talk about podcasts, music, and YouTube, I mean about topics that surround positivity and good vibrations. Listening to other people talk about their success stories and how they get through the struggles of everyday life really inspires me to get my stuff done. And having several different role models and people that you take little bits of advice from is amazing. Because there is never just one person that we agree with 100% everything they say. Most likely that's not the case. Having different people that you take bits of advice from and agree with on certain things will really help you identify your sense of self and what you agree with and disagree with and just your opinions on pretty much anything. It can really help you become an individual, and that goes with anything like fashion, mentality, lifestyle, anything like that. I hope this video helped everyone, and I will see you in my next video.